Hello everybody. Today we're going to be continuing my makeup palettes, except today we're going to be doing a little bit of soft speaking. Oops. I love hitting the camera. So, we are first going to start with a couple of eyeshadow palettes, and then we're going to go on to some face palettes. So, again, these are dirty. This is our first palette. That looks really gross. This is by Marc Jacobs. And I love the look of his palettes. They're so sleek and slim. They're beautiful as a collector's piece. This one is called the Starlit palette. And this one's probably a couple of years old. I kind of wish I had gotten one with a few more mattes, but I have my eye on going back and getting another, so we'll see if that... Oop. Oop. Sorry, that's a horrible noise. So that's our little mirror. Sorry, that's blinding. It's my tripod. So here are the shades. These are all shimmery shades, going all the way down, all the way down. You can see their little reflection in the mirror. It's like a double. This one is a shimmery taupe shade. It's really beautiful. That's one of my most used shades in this palette. Second is this really beautiful shimmery color, like a champagne. Also very well used. Next, we have a shimmery brown, kind of a chocolatey brown. It's really beautiful. The next is an orangey rust color. Super beautiful, but very, oh, these are so buttery, very vibrant. It is a true coppery shade. Look at that. Look at the shine on that. It's so beautiful. The next is a yellow gold. It's showing up slightly more pale, but it is a very yellow gold. Then we have a silver. And the silver is really beautiful as well. Although I find silver does not look very good on me. I like gray on me, but silver is a tone I just have not yet mastered. Next is a shimmery, kind of reminds me of the moon. It's a dark gray metallic. And it's really beautiful. We're just going to put that to the side so that it doesn't squeak the entire time. So that is this palette. It's really beautiful. Next up, we have another incredibly dirty palette. As you can tell, I use all of my makeup a lot. It definitely is well loved. So this palette is by ColourPop. Ooh, that left a mark. ColourPop. And this palette is just an empty palette. You can see on the back it's made in the US and they are cruelty free, which some of my makeup may not be, but any makeup I am buying in the future will be. So this is our ColourPop makeup. It has a magnetic flip, and then it opens to the colors inside. So this palette, as you can tell, has seen better days. I dropped this one as well. See, I'm getting that all over my blanket. That was a dumb idea. These, oops, sorry. I have the camera in a weird position today, and it is difficult, to say the least. So this palette came with a insert and a 4 eyeshadows that went across, and I took out the insert to get to the magnetic strip underneath. And I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and what was 10, eyeshadows. This one was, oh my goodness, I can't pick it up, called Double Date. And it was really beautiful. Shimmery purple that no longer exists because it shattered. So, I guess we can probably take that out. We have a matte purple. This is the shade Silver Lining. We have a matte red, brick red, and that is the shade Get Out. It's not really focusing. There we go. The shade is called Pinky Promise, and that's a shimmery red. We have a shimmery gold, a dark maroon, a shimmery kind of gold, rose gold color. I love this one as well. I wear that one a lot. Different kind of shine than that one, but still really beautiful. And then we have a taupey matte cool toned brown, a shimmery pink, which I love, and a shimmery champagne as well. So those are my ColourPop shadows. Now that I've made a mess, we can just ignore that. Can we ignore that? Yeah, let's do it. We're now going to move on to our face palettes. So we are going to start with, once again, the oldest. This is, and very dirty. This is a Fiona Styles. I just thought the packaging was cool, besides all the fingerprints, but this is by Fiona Styles, and I don't really think you can find her very much anymore. I think that she as a brand has kind of been on the outskirts and going out, but this is her, oh, this is her contour palette in light. I know that. I'm just going to keep it right there. So, this shade I completely used up. This was the darkest. So it goes light, medium, dark. And these two are fairly cool toned. This one in the middle is not as cool toned, so it doesn't look great on me. This one's very, very light. This one was kind of perfect. But I do use all three, and I did really like the formula on these. They looked really nice on my skin. The next one is by Tarte. Again, cruelty free. And this was part of their C collection. Let's see if it has a name on it. So this is the Skin Twinkle lighting palette. So if you open this up, it does have a mirror, so I'll keep it semi-closed, but I really love this palette, and that's just a little bit of mascara. We can ignore that. Apparently I'm a very messy makeup doer. We have this really beautiful buttery champagne color, which is beautiful as a highlight. And then we have this slightly more cool toned, oh, now there's mascara in my nail. Slightly more cool toned shimmer. And that one is also, where did I put that one? I'll put this one here. Really beautiful. What I love about these is that they're super buttery and they look almost wet when they're on the face, which is my style of highlight. Sometimes you get a highlighter that has a lot of glitter or chunks, and I'm just not really a fan of that. This one in the middle is not the same as the others. This one is very, I don't know if you can hear that. It's very powdery and dry. This is a setting powder, a brightening. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. This is a setting powder with a little bit of illumination. All in all, a beautiful, beautiful palette that I love and has been very well used. Next up, we have our Benefit Cheekathon palette, which I love the design. It's this cardboard material, kind of like the ColourPop palette. And this has been very well loved as well. So this palette, this is where the brush was. And then we have 5 shades of their best-selling blushes and bronzers. We start with my all-time favorite, Dandelion blush. And this blush, not this package of course, but this blush was actually one of the first blushes I ever bought myself way back in the day. Probably when I was around 15. And I've always loved it. It looks really nice on my skin tone. It's this beautiful, I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well. Not really. It's this beautiful dusty pink color. Next, we have Hoola, which is a fan favorite. It's a beautiful bronzer that I really like. It's not my favorite, but it is really nice. Next up is the blush that I want to love, but I just don't. This is Rockateur, and it is a shimmery mauve color. It just looks so beautiful, but oh, you can't not see that. But on my skin, it just, I don't think it complements my undertones very well. It comes across a little bit muddy, and I need something, if I'm going to wear something purpley, which I do love on my skin tone, it needs to be a little bit more cool toned and a little less neutral. After that, we have Dallas, which is another bronzer or a very dark blush. This one has a lot more pink in it, and I do find that I can wear this one for that reason. I have a lot of pink in my skin, and it does work pretty well. The next is Coralista, and this is an orange, I'm going to call it a satin coral blush, and that one's really beautiful as well, but not my favorite. Oh, I'm going to have to edit that out. So that is my Benefit Cheekathon palette. And then our last palette of the day is also from, it's one of the newest. Well, you can see, oh, there I am. Oh, and there's the light. There we go. It's one of the newest, and it's from this past winter. I love the packaging. This is the Après Ski palette, although it is very, very dirty as well. So, here's this palette. I really like this one as well. I'm going to hold it up like that. So, this palette has 1, 2, 3, possibly 4, but not 4 for me, highlighters. We have this peachy one, which I adore. This icy colored one, which I also love. I love mixing these two. A gold, which is really beautiful, but I find it has a little bit of a cast on my skin. And then we have almost like a rusty color. Really beautiful, but I tend to only use this as eyeshadow. It just does not work on my skin tone. We have a bronzer, which is a little dark and nothing to really write home about, in my opinion. But I do use it quite often. And then one beautiful pop of pink blush. I'm just going to clean this all out so you can see the camera. It's a beautiful pink blush that I really like. So that is the last palette for today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. I really appreciate you coming to watch my videos, and I hope that it brought you a little bit of relaxation. I love you all.